Women's leadership in religious traditions allows the qualities, ideas, perspectives, and experiences of women to benefit all segments of society, enriching the lives of boys and men, even as it enhances the lives of girls and women. As long as women are prevented from attaining their highest possibilities, the Baha'i writing state, so long will men be unable to achieve the greatness which might be theirs. It has been my honor and privilege to serve as the principal representative of the Baha'i International Community United Nations Office for a number of years. Over that period, I cannot tell you the number of times I have been the only woman on an otherwise a panel of male religious leaders. This is not to say that men cannot be in the forefront of the movement toward gender equality. In fact, the Baha'i writings say, when men own the equality of women, there will be no need for women to struggle for their rights. Just as a biological organism requires the coordinated action of all its component parts to be healthy, society needs the talents and gifts of all its members, and not just some, to be strong. This includes gifts of coordination, decision-making, and leadership. Improving women's religious leadership requires that men and boys be educated in such a way that they will come to understand the ways in which society suffers and is impoverished when women's voices, experiences, and intellectual contributions are not acknowledged. Increased leadership requires helping young people understand from a very young age their tremendous gifts and worth as noble creations of a loving God. This is especially true for girls who grow up with many messages, subtle or overt, to the contrary. Universal education will be key. Only until every girl has access to the same curriculum as boys, is afforded the same opportunities to develop intellectually and acquire all of the tools necessary to express and live her faith, will women's leadership advance. Deep and honest reflection on our respective religious traditions is needed to understand the patterns, beliefs, and interpretations that have created conditions in which women's voices are minimized. Commitment to women's leadership must also find expression within a religious community's own administrative processes and institutional structures. Indispensable in this regard is the tracking of the participation of women through data and statistics. This is an area to which the Baha'i community devotes significant attention and from which I can share a few brief examples. As some might know, the Baha'i faith has no clergy. Instead, the affairs of the Baha'i community are overseen by democratically elected governing councils operating at various levels. Each country is governed by a national spiritual assembly. Women currently represent more than half of those holding the position of assembly secretary, a role that has been described as chief executive officer. The rate at which women have served in this capacity, as well as other leadership roles, including chairperson, vice chairperson, treasurer, etc., has nearly doubled since the 1980s. Similar growth has been seen in women's overall membership on national assemblies, which today is approaching parity worldwide. These figures have risen as understanding of the implications of gender equality as a spiritual principle has deepened, and local Baha'i communities are working to free themselves of inherited biases against the female sex. Developments such as these hold several lessons we can consider together. Such developments highlight the evolutionary nature of progress toward the equality of women and men. The aim is not that one or another religious community is suddenly free, as if by magic, of the countless forms of prejudice against women that are still perpetuated by societies around the world today. The goal, rather, is that they are working consciously and diligently to uproot those prejudices and replace them with ever more profound manifestations of equality. Advancing toward a world that protects and provides for all, women and men alike, depends on the leadership, insight, wisdom, and decision-making of women of faith. Let every religious community then take the steps necessary to advance in this vital imperative. Thank you.